And I really ping Ryan, and hopefully he should be in here.
Okay. All right.
Then
Cool.
at least we have privacy and security to kind of hopefully can map out the next step because we have some interesting facts right from Carlton's discussion last week.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Let me ping Ryan as well. Okay, he said he'll be making. We'll just give him a few minutes.
Okay.
And Kristen, are you aware there was another incident reported last week about impersonalization? That was
No.
that was from I forgot her name. Mary.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you aware of that? I'm not sure if you were copying in or not.
No, I don't think so. Unless I'm not connecting the dots,
It's my
but
way back there, but I'm also on the work call.
Okay, let's talk about the. I'm sorry, who was that?
it's Carlton. Hey, Carlton, I'm going to mute you unless you unmuted on
Yes,
purpose.
sorry, I'm not even sure because I'm. Go ahead, no problem. Sorry.
That's okay.
I'll wait for that to pick something up. I'm good.
Okay, actually, just give the little context. So, for those that didn't join last time, so Carlton did reach out to that employee, um, and they had some interesting finding. And I probably want to defer to Carlton to recap the facts so I don't mess up anything. And then we'll strategize
Sure.
as what's the next step. Carlton, would that be okay with you since you spoke to her?
Sure. Yeah, so I spoke to her last, I think it was Thursday, not Friday, and she did share that she did not log in she doesn't have any relative by that same name to begin with. So she's not certain or sure why. She did share that probably a week or two prior to that she was trying to access her own test results. And when she clicked on the link, she saw another email address that was unknown to her. Digitally and her email and did get her test results. And so while I was on the phone with her, I asked her if she could go back to the link in the email and see if that email address that was unrecognizable to her popped up. But when she did that, it was just hers that was showing up. And interestingly, she said it happened this time, and I think last year when she did the test as well, it would suggest that she may have done the thing together just a couple times. But she said she didn't really think much of it. She was able to access her account by clearing and inputting her information. But she did confirm that she has no relative with that same name, has never worked at Nvidia before, and she lives 4 hours away from Indianapolis.
Okay. So it sounds like now we don't know the cause, but it sounds like the fact that this NVIDIA employee got an MFA prompt was likely tied to this person trying to access their own gallery account, because it sounds like she did try to log into her account around that same time.
She did try to access her account, but I'm not sure if we can, say that it sounds like that's the case. I mean, it could be. I'm not entirely sure. And I say that only because she would have at least had to know Jane Green at Nvidia.com in order to input that directly, unless that was the email that popped up and she tried to access, realizing that it wasn't her email address. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I guess what I'm saying is I'd be even more weirded out if she said, I haven't even tried to log into my own account in a year. You know what I mean?
Right.
But she did access that account. Is that correct, Carlton?
She tried to access her own account.
Her own account.
Correct. She tried to access when she received the notification that her test result was available, she tried accessing it that way. And I believe, that's where she clicked on the link from her email, and then she saw this pre-populated email address. She just thought that it was weird, couldn't recall the actual email address. And as you were trying to walk through that process again, it was actually inputting her her own email address.
Okay. Very strange.
Right. It is.
Danny, what were you saying about an incident that Mary reported last week?
Yeah, I mean, I want to finish up this first before we move on to the next one. Although I want, yeah, let's. Mary's not here. Can someone ping Mary? So she's the one who reported. So if it's Tracy, if you could ping her, have her. She did confirm want to join. I remember. She did check. I don't know if you see my screen right now. She did indicate that she would join. So I thought since we have the same people here, it would be good to bring that up. But before we moved in, given the fact we have on this one, it still sounds inconclusive. Kristen, what do you need? What do you suggest? I assume you still owe a response to Nvidia, right? On this Jay Green.
I do, yeah. So I emailed them last week and told them that the Tanisha Roberts issue was closed, that
Right.
It sounds like she dialed a different phone number. Hold on, let me pull the email up. I said, hi, I'm following up on the 2 issues. Our customer service spoke with Tanisha. She's all set. Sounds like she misdialed the number. I gave her that feedback. I said, we're still looking into Jay Green and the multi-factor authentication email she received. The good news is that MFA worked, but we're looking into a few things to confirm how it occurred. And she just responded and said, I look forward to your future updates on that second bullet. So they are expecting something back from us, and it sounds like we don't really know.
It doesn't sound we have anything conclusive. That's my takeaway from Carlton's report. And
Yeah.
Carlton, will you concur to that? Yeah.
No, I agree with that. But, Christy, you said something earlier, which I think that could be the case, but we can't prove it, right?
Right.
It could be a situation where Jay Green attempted to access her own test results, but it was Jay Green at Nvidia's email address that was pre-populated. But we can't say for sure. I also forget to ask if she was trying to access her test results on her personal cell phone versus her own work cell phone. But she did say her work cell phone is hardly ever close to her. So I don't, I'm not going to assume she tried to use her own work cell phone. Because initially when I reached out to her, I called her on her work cell. And then she sent me a chat message because I'd reached out to her prior to that day earlier to say, hey, let me know when is a good time to talk to you, to discuss an issue. So when I called the work cell, I got no response. I think I called it like twice on separate occasion, and then she saw my chat, responded, and she shared. She's like, I hardly have my work phone with me. So my takeaway from that is more than likely she used her personal device to access this information, as well as it could have been her work cell phone. But can't say for sure.
Okay. And Ryan, am I remembering correctly? I can't remember if it's in the notes, but I know you guys commented on the IP address, but can we tell that that is a Grail issued cell phone or not?
There might be a way to do that. I have to do some digging, but I might be able to correlate it with our own cell phone.
And to your point, Carlton, let's just say Ryan came back and said, yes, we know for sure that is her work phone.
Yeah.
I don't know that still gives us any answers other than she doesn't carry it very much, but.
You're right, but if Ryan comes back and say it's actually her work cell phone, and again, I didn't ask the question if she attempted to use her personal versus her work cell phone, right?
Right.
But assuming she did use her work cell phone, if Ryan was supposed to come back and confirm that, I think it could be reasonable to conclude that it was this other person's Jay Green email address that popped up. How that happened, I'm not entirely sure. Because even though she expressed that she's 4 hours away from Indianapolis, I've tried to use MFA sometimes and it says even with Octon, it's telling me Virginia or Maryland, and I live all the way in New Jersey. So that's
Right.
a possibility where it could be pinging from, you know, I don't know, whatever site or however the internet works. But yeah, if we were supposed to accurately confirm that it's her work cell phone, then I mean I can go back and ask her if she attempted to access her information from her work cell. And if that's the case, I mean, I'm not saying it's 100%, but one could conclude that it might have been this Jay Green's at Nvidia's email that popped up when she attempted to access her test results.
Yeah. From a technical standpoint, I don't know, Danny, if this is a you question or a Ryan question, but from a technical standpoint, I guess what would have to occur for someone to click on the link for their, I guess one thing we haven't talked about is who the ordering provider was for both of these tests, because that tells you who the email comes from, right? So if Nvidia, their ordering provider, typically, I'd have to go back and look when this person tested last. But if it's Recuro, then the email with your results comes from Recuro. If it's not, Mary or Tracy, I don't actually know. Like when you go to a clinic to get your test, who does your email actually come from with your emailed results?
If you go to a clinic or provider's office, it should come from, I believe it's customer service at Grail. Is that correct, Mary?
I'll just check to see where mine came from.
Excellent.
Yeah, I got one from Recuro, and then where's the other one? Gallery.
That will be from Recuro, but if you go to like a random doctor's office.
And then we send that one afterwards. I got it from Grail customer service.
Okay.
And Mary, did that went to your personal email or your Grail Bio email address?
It went to my personal email because that's where I ordered the test, was my personal email. So it came from Grail customer service. And this is like our standard Grail. Sorry, no one's able to see that, but it came from our standard customer service at grail.com. I mean, I guess that's my question is, this is well beyond any technical guessing I could do, but how is the email that you are linked tied to your result itself? So that you could click on that link, go to a page, and someone else's email who has the exact same name as you is populated in that field. Or is the system reading it wrong? Like, is it only reading the Jay Green part and it's connecting to another Jay Green's results? That seems very bizarre to me because there's lots of people that share names like that. It should be linked in pre-post or limbs that way, that it's connected to the right emails to the right account, right, Tracy?
Yeah, exactly, because it reads the information from limbs. And if I'm not mistaken, when we checked the Nvidia one, her email was there.
Yeah. Her email was jgreen@nvidia.com. That's what she tested with?
Yes. I'm going to pull it back up here.
And I think, Ryan, you said in the notes originally when you looked up the IP address, your note said, what's interesting is that the user tag Jay Green is the same for the Nvidia employee. I don't know what you mean by user tag.
Yeah, I was just talking about the username aside from the actual at email.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I thought maybe there was somewhere else in the system where it abbreviates it and it's just Jay Green, but it's always attached to the full email address on our side, right?
This is probably a better question for Milan. Because I just think about it because this is all through Okta, right? When I sign into my Okta, I don't have to specify my whole address. I just have to specify that username essentially. So I'm wondering if somewhere behind the scenes it's mistaking the two Jay Greens, even though it's two different emails.
I think let's do this. Given the time, one, we have Ryan take a look at the phone, right? Whether that device is indeed Grill. And second question I have is, Are we able to maybe Carlton that did this employee or girl, did she ever work at Nvidia by any chance? Because we were thinking is that confirmed that she
Yeah, she's never worked at Nvidia.
Okay, that's fine then. So we know she's now having two jobs, things like that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
I wish that'd be easier.
That was one theory, right? She was
Yeah.
having a two job and she just put in her Nvidia account by accident. Okay, so forget that idea. That theory's out. Okay. So I think let me propose next step. Let's have Ryan take a look at the phone, whether that's a grill, and we'll just have it sync up later this week. And maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, Friday, whenever I can find the time. Kristen, would that be enough time for you to potentially go back with a reply to NVIDIA by end of Friday? Do you think that's sufficient? Because we don't have enough data right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of has to be. I agree with you. I can buy us time. I'll just let her know, hey, I think the other thing I'm comforted by here, and this is why I said it in my email the first time, is this is the whole point of MFA. Like, what if someone had just been a bad actor and was trying to access her account? That's
Right.
the whole point of having multi-factor authentication. So I don't know where we reach a limit where we say, we've looked into this to the extent that we can. This is why MFA exists. Is that satisfactory to them? I think what I feel burdened by at the moment is that I'm concerned that there's a technical issue that's causing this because we're showing that another human with the same name is where the pain came from. That makes me think this is not just a bad actor that we blocked, that there's something else going on here.
Yeah.
And that could be a one-off too, Kristen. That could be a one-off unless the technical folks on the line says otherwise, but that sounds like a one-off to me.
Okay.
And
Ryan, you were gonna chime in with something?
Yeah, I think two things. One, I just want to try to understand, just for my own context, linking the request or linking to a Grail phone. What are the thoughts on that? Whether it was a Grail phone or a personal phone, like what do we get from knowing either or?
I have a similar question, Ryan. Carlton, what were you trying to articulate earlier? Like, if he finds out, yes, it was a Grail phone, or no, it was not,
Yeah.
it still is showing that the IP address is associated with this same human.
Right.
That's jgreen@grailbio.com. So which device she's using, why does that matter?
Well, so I think Danny asked the question, right? If we could confirm, and then the question was posed, like if it was confirmed, what could we conclude by that? And so I said, I mean, it's a possibility that if it's her actual phone and actually attempted to do the login, it could be a situation where when she attempted to access her test results, it was the Jay Green's email at Nvidia that popped up. Because she did say she saw an email address that wasn't hers. She just couldn't remember what it was. And so if we're confirming that it was in fact her real issued cell phone that she attempted to use to access her test result, then, again, it's not 100% accurate, but it's, one can infer that could have been the email address that she saw when she attempted to access her test results, which goes back to the other, questions of like, what are the chances of that happening?
But couldn't that be true also
The
if she
technical
used
issue.
her?
I'm
Couldn't that
not
be
sure.
true though if she also used her personal phone? Like, even if she used her personal phone, if she was accessing her results from her test on her personal phone, couldn't that all still be true?
That could be true, but based on the due diligence that the security team done, it's a Grail issued device and an IP address pinging from Indianapolis, Indiana. She lives in Kentucky.
I guess
So I think going back and confirming that it was in fact a Grail phone, then that adds another element to it, right? But you're right, Kristen. It could have been her personal. It could have been her Grail phone.
And Kentucky is
Tracy,
cold, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Carlton?
Tracy, is it possible to also look to see what email address she used when she ordered the test?
For the GGC?
Yeah.
I will probably need some more information because we have a lot of Jennifer Greens here.
Yeah.
And I don't see one with a Grail Bio email address. Yeah, we have a bunch of Jennifer Greens.
Okay. And we can't stratify by state and location? Like if we...
Yeah.
I mean, we can, Carlton. It's a little dicey. They're supposed to confirm like a couple pieces of PHI.
No, I'm just saying.
I isolated it by employer, and I was able to pull it up by employer.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Well, that'll do it.
She used a Gmail.
So it's not her Grail email.
So there's a high chance that it was a personal device too, because you can't sign into other Gmail accounts on our Grail managed devices.
Right. So it could be your personal.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, there's that. And also, the IP address is not from our VPN, and all of our devices are supposed to automatically be on VPN. So there's two factors that point to it pretty much being a personal phone, or high chance of it having been a personal phone.
Okay, I'm gonna ask a really stupid question, Ryan. I don't know how IP addresses work. So if she's using a personal telephone, how could you even tell that it was ever like who she is, I guess is what I'm asking. Like, how did you know that it was associated with jgreen@grailbio.com if it's a personal cell phone?
So I just took the IP address that Milan provided, and I just searched across all of our logs for that IP address popping up anywhere. And when it did pop up, it came from our Okta logs showing some event tied to that IP address that was tied to the Grail Bio JGreen.
Oh, so that was probably a login through Okta that happened before we had added security to our personal cell phones, right?
It wouldn't necessarily be that.
Because I mean, otherwise she wouldn't be able to Okta in from her personal phone anymore, right?
Correct. Yeah, shouldn't be able to based off of our policies. But again, the IP address, sometimes it slips. Sometimes it comes from our VPN, and sometimes it does come from the actual IP address that is from the device or the network that you're on. It's not always perfect, but generally you should consistently see one of our IP addresses for events. So, okay. I mean, the big thing to me that points it to it like 90% or 95% being a personal device is the Gmail component. Because all devices, no one should be able to sign into any personal email or personal Gmail account on our Grail managed devices.
Sure.
Okay.
My next question is, Mary, did you say we were talking about the link, right? And you having the email and receiving the link that everybody potentially receives. Is there anything in that email or in that link that points to like a username?
Let's see.
Because I'm wondering if it points to username jgreen and not jgreen, not the full email address, that might be where there's the slippage of a potential sign in through the wrong account or association with the wrong account.
I can click to view my test report. There's nothing about a name or anything else.
What does the URL look like?
Can you share a screen, Mary?
Yeah, sorry. You're going to see the background of my...
I stopped sharing.
Oh yeah, no, it's just more of my turning off my virtual background. Okay, my room is a mess. So this is, I can just forward it to you guys as well. So this is the email that I received. That's the view test result. And then it takes me here. And it's prompting me to use my, what email to my Mary Blosey's for my Grail thing. But I would have used my personal because that's what I did my Grail test order with. So I assume this is what happened for the employee. And this is probably where she saw an email that was not her own down here.
Yeah, I just clicked through mine and it's the same. I have the same experience. But I'm wondering, I'm clicking on Mary, the one from Grail customer service.
Yeah, and then it comes over here to send me an email. So like feedback email. So then I would have clicked that, and that's how I'm going to verify to get through my MFA. and I got an email to sign into your account.
And Carlton, when Jay Green from Grail said that they saw the wrong email, I'm assuming it's on the page that you were just talking about, Mary? Or just showing?
It's my assumption.
Yeah, I think it's the only place you would see it, right?
Yeah. But it would be there, or the verification email is where she would have seen it. Yeah, but I think it's there.
I am perplexed. This is very strange.
It must be a glitch in technology that day.
Yeah, it's a glitch in the matrix, as people like to blame.
Do we know if she, I'm sure you didn't ask this, Carlton, I wouldn't have expected you to, but actually, Tracy, can you see who she tested with? It's not Recuro, right? I don't need to know the name of her doctor, but you can just tell that it's not Recuro.
Who, Nvidia?
The employee, the Grail employee.
It's Recuro.
It's Recuro because it's a enterprise. So they go through telemed.
Yeah. She was a Grail employee, so she had to.
I know, but some of those GGCs test through like a clinic and then they have their billing switched over. We've had to deal with it before, so I wanted to make sure it wasn't that. Do we need to look into this with Recuro? Because we don't know actually. If she tested through Recuro, that means she got a Recuro results email and a Grail customer service results email. So Nvidia tested through Recuro as well, I'm assuming. So we have two people with the username of Jay Green coming from a Recuro email potentially.
Yeah, it could be a Recuro thing. Because if it was our system the way it is, it should follow, and we can go into we can confirm via GSP what emails these people received.
Yeah.
But you guys wouldn't have history of the Recuro email, right? Because that comes from them. Or do we have logs of those?
I do not.
No, we only have.
No, we wouldn't. Yeah, we wouldn't have Recuro's information.
Okay.
Let me
So
see.
should the next step be to talk to Recuro? I mean, they should have logs of their emails, right? But I don't. This is where my knowledge breaks very early. Is like if the email comes from Recuro, but the link is to our portal, or no, you log into Recuro's portal, right?
It would be our portal because it's the Grail.
If you get it from Recuro, it'll take you to the Recuro portal for results.
But
so a question we can ask her is, did she open an email from Grail customer service or from Recuro that populated the wrong email?
I can go back and ask her that question. I just don't want it to be for her to like start thinking that, oh, something is concerning here on our side.
I know.
Yeah, I think the more we dig, it's gonna then prompt someone to think, okay, like what's really happening here? But I can go back and ask her. I think the decision to have Recuro look into this further has to come from Abby as well. Has to come from the CISO. I wouldn't make that decision on this call.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Did you say Abby?
Abhishek, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't disagree with you, Carlton. I feel like at this point, and you guys tell me if I'm overreaching, I'm fine with that too, but I don't think right at this stage I'm comfortable telling Nvidia like nothing is wrong. I don't feel confident in that. But maybe a question to Recuro, and if we track that down and we don't get anywhere, then I think we could go back and say that, and say if we have another report, that kind of thing. Does everybody agree with that approach?
Yeah, we still don't know what happened. We don't know why the Nvidia person got that email, right? That's the mystery part. We still don't know.
Right. So I'm saying I think we need one more step of finding out, did she click on a Grail customer service email or did she click on a Recuro email? I think we need to get an answer to that question. And if it's a Recuro email with the right person's blessing, I think we need to go back to Recuro.
But Kristen, didn't you share the email that you received, or was that for the other employee?
Oh no, you're right, Carlton. No. That's
was,
the MFA. That's different. That's the MFA email. That always comes from the same place, right?
Okay, but her issues with MFA as well. It wasn't with accessing her results, and that came from customer service at grailbio.com.
Wait.
It wasn't a recurring email.
I actually don't know. When you get an email from Recuro with results, do you get our MFA or do you? Is that like Recuro MFA? I don't know that anyone on this.
It would have to be Recur's MFA. It wouldn't be ours. It's their platform. It's their system. It couldn't be Grail's MFA.
Okay, I think I agree with you. But yes, you're right. The email looks just like the ones we get from our customer service because she forwarded it. I just realized I'm 4 minutes late to another call, so I need to hop actually.
Yeah.
Let me no further steps right now. Let me noodle on this for a minute because you make a good point, Carlton.
Mm-hmm.
I need to think about the workflow and I'm getting into spaces I'm not as familiar with.
Okay, well, I'm just when I'm going to look into re-access from that link. Oops, I just did the wrong year. It took me to Grail's portal from the Grail customer service.
Yeah.
Do you have your Recuro? I tried to find my Recuro link, Marian. I can't find it in my email.
Yeah, it's gallery test. Is that what it is? Like gallery results.
So Kristen, let me find out a slot.
Ryan?
Yeah.
Ryan and Danny, can you guys remain on a call?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. Thanks, guys. I gotta hop. I apologize.
You didn't touch on the other issue that I emailed you guys about?
No, we ran out of time. We're still on this issue here. I think we need a lot of time. We need a lot of slots.
Yeah, we need another slot to go and dive into.
Yeah, let me find out a slot while Kristen is thinking about it and her workflow.
Okay.
So I'll find out a slot. I'll find out a slot with the same audience here. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Carlton, we're here.
Is it just you or Ryan?
Ryan's here. Yeah,
Sorry,
Ryan,
I can't see because I'm on my phone.
Yeah, just three of us. Just Ryan, you, and me, Carlton.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know if we should probe this any further, and I didn't want to say that on the call. But if you guys can have a conversation with Abby and to kind of share the facts with him and see what he's thinking. But I'm not entirely sure what happened here, and I'm a little bit hesitant to go back to an employee and ask her further questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little bit reluctant to do that.
Absolutely. So Carlton, I
understand it's I understand it's a customer and I understand it's Nvidia.
Yeah.
This could very well just be a fluke, right?
Sure.
And it could just be one of those one-off issues, but I would love for Abby to, once you guys share the facts with him, he weighs in and then make a decision as to where we go from here. I'm gonna be very candid. I don't think we should be beating this up any further. Ryan, I'm not sure if you were able to confirm whether it's an actual Grail device. I think you may have already done that while we were on the call, but I'm not sure what other page to turn here regarding this particular issue. And please keep me honest if you think, what are you guys thinking?
Yeah, I'm pretty aligned with you on this as well, Carlton. I haven't been able to do the check that would say that this specifically is a Grail phone. Again, the Gmail thing is 95% it is not a Grail phone. You can't sign with Gmail from a Grail managed device. But I'm aligned with you because, and I get it. I get the priority, or I get the urgency potentially around it, given the kind of customer. But again, this was said at the last meeting too. I mean, anybody can go to these links and type in an address, and somebody will receive an MFA potentially.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
There's so many kind of aspects to it. The only thing that would make me want to potentially dive into this further, and I just don't have the bandwidth on it though, is the component of it being the wrong address that Jay Green from Grail had saw, right? Why would she see the wrong address? Which really dives into the product side of okay, did they receive the wrong kind of URL link? Does that URL link, and this is why I was asking
Right. And she didn't, it doesn't appear to me that it was a big deal to her because she said that she noticed it and she was able to just input her information and then she was able to access the result.
Right.
She didn't really make a big deal out of it. So I come on to the road, Bridget. Sorry. And I didn't ask too many questions to bring too much attention to this thing.
Yeah.
Right? Do you have a relative that worked at another, company, Nvidia, with the same name? No. Have you taken a gallery test? And you know what I mean? So I didn't ask too many questions. Mm-hmm. And she was very forthcoming and she was like, laughing about it. She's like, oh yeah, I recall a couple of weeks ago, I tried to access my result. Mm-hmm. And strangely, I saw another email. And I didn't really think much of it. I just, cleared it. And so I said to her, can you find back that email that you received regarding your test results being available? And she did, in fact, found it while we were on the phone and tried to access it. And it was her email popped up. And in fact, I called her on her personal device because I called her on her work phone first, twice. And she said to me, I'm not always close to my work phone, which could mean that she hardly ever uses it. She probably still uses her personal device because she's a GGC in the field. Right. That's what I mean? There are a lot of GGCs who got a Grail phone. I think a lot of them just ported their regular phone number over because they already have all these lists of providers and they didn't feel like getting a new number. So they just ported over their personal phone number to the Grail device and just use it that way. So yeah, I'm not sure if we should be beating this up any further, but that's a discussion and a decision that Abby would have to make.
Yeah,
I understand where Kristen is coming from, but nobody has the time for all of this. I'm just going to be very candid.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on this.
Yeah.
Watson. Again, also me, doing the initial search on taking the IP and then seeing that IP, was linked with Jay Green. There's a lot of things that are, potentially inconsistent about that as well. Just because it's an IP address, a mobile IP address, and people change mobile IP addresses all the time because you're walking around with your phone, you're moving around with your phone. So just because the same IP address came up, it could be a coincidence, and it really is, since it was Jay Green again, it could also be another major coincidence.
Right.
There's a lot of aspects to it that, at the end of the day, right, if there is a response, and of course, this is not my decision, is, what Avi wants to do, but, them saying, oh, I received an MFA out of the blue, it's just these things are on the public internet, that happens. If you don't recognize it, then you just don't respond to it. That kind of stuff just happens.
And that's the purpose of MFA anyway, right? It's protection.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's meant to protect the account.
Yeah. And I think if we have to go back to if we have to go back to Nvidia or help Kristen draft a response, we can put a response together that we've done our due diligence. We have no reason to believe, yada, yada, yada. And then just put it back on them. It's MFA. She checked it. She realized, okay, someone could have been trying to access my stuff. They were able to access your information. And that's it.
I think I concur. And because I think Ryan really hit something that's it's really key. It's a public place, right? Anybody could put it in, right?
Yes.
I think that is the golden nugget. Say, nobody can disagree with that. Right? It's a public place. Anybody put it in. MFA.
Well, listen, it could be a situation where another employee tried to put in her coworker's name to see
exactly.
What happens. It could be that. We don't know, but
we don't know.
That has happened before in my past life in terms of folks working at a hospital. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just don't want to waste anyone's time of beating this up any further.
No, I concur.
We did our due diligence, and this is what we have no reason to believe that your information was hacked.
Yep.
Yada, yada, yada. And then we just close it out.
And Carlton, when you spoke to Jay Green, she was pretty normal. She was not
Very normal.
For lack of bad word, she was not nervous or apprehensive, nothing like that.
Nah,
right?
nothing like that. Very normal. She was laughing. She was like, "Oh no!" Like, yeah, very normal. And that's why I'm reluctant to go back to her.
Right.
And have follow-up questions, because if it was me, then I'm gonna start thinking, "Oh, hold up. So what's happening here?" You know what I mean?
Right.
And I try to like be as surface level as possible in terms of how I frame my questions to her, but making sure that I'm getting to the responses that we were hoping to achieve.
Yeah, I agree, because thank you for having this little huddle here, because then I can ask you, like, she was normal, she was not tense, nothing like that. So that's another good sign, right? That's another good sign, right, Carlton?
Yeah.
So you read her voice. I don't know if you saw her on camera. It doesn't matter, but your feedback is valuable, right?
Right.
Okay, so I think three of us are aligned, Carlton. Let's give Mary, is it Mary? No, I'm sorry, Kristen, a few hours she want to kind of walk that through in the workflow. Then I'm sure she'll ping me or I'll follow up. Then we'll set up another call, then say, hey, this is kind of the recommendation we have. And she may be in alignment, after, kind of, walk away for a couple hours, right?
Yeah. And but we need to have a conversation with Abby as well. And that's why I wanted to be clear that, listen, I don't want us to go to Recur and have them check anything. This didn't come from Recur. I think we already established that on the call, right? So we don't need to get them involved.
Yeah, I didn't get that Recur part, so I'm sorry. That's due to my lack of knowledge on that domain part.
Yeah, like that's going to be another issue that then they're going to start having questions. I think we should just present the facts to Abby based on what we've learned thus far. Share with him how we're planning to close this out, and just kind of get his thoughts.
Okay, so next step, let me sync up with Kristen, and we'll make sure we're in alignment. Then we can present. Then I'll send a recap to Abby or tell him whatever, see what he thinks before we officially close it.
Right. I'm off this week, but I'm monitoring chat. So if you have to send me a message on chat, send it to me.
I'm gonna need you this week, from your perspective. And there's another one that we didn't even have a chance to talk about it. So I don't know how severe that is. That sounds like a one-off. Doesn't sound too severe. It's a kind of personalization. But
I agree.
You agree, Carlton? I mean, I was looking at it. It's like a one-off. So I didn't want to divert from this one. So I just let it continue.
Yeah, I agree.
Agree. Okay. So I know you guys are super busy. So that's the next step. Three of us, and I'll set up a meeting with Kristen. Then see what she say. Then hopefully, she concurs. Then we get Abby's buy-in before closing, of course.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks, Ryan.
Steve.
Thanks, Carlton.
All right. Have a good day, guys.
Okay. I'll keep you guys in touch.
All right, bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.